Once again, thank you for coming to this post-cabinet briefing. Cabinet met today and deliberated on a number of issues. Among issues dealt with updates on the statutory instrument 122 of 2017, the amendment, implementation, infrastructural development issues were discussed, food security issues were discussed, and also transport issues. We will now go into the detail of what was discussed, the most important decisions which have been taken by Cabinet today. On price hikes and availability of fuel, basic commodities, and also medicines. Following an update report by the Ministers of Industry and Commerce and also the Minister of Health and Childcare, Cabinet noted with satisfaction indications that the availability of basic commodities on the market was gradually improving in the aftermath of the amendment of Statutory Instrument 122. Of concern, however, were the continuing high prices, the prevalence of the three-tier pricing structure, and cases where some retailers insisted on payment in hard currency, especially in the pharmaceutical sectors. However, the full impact of the amendment would be felt by the middle of November 2018. Government also observed that the availability of fuel had significantly improved amid high hopes that the situation should normalize in a few days' time. Government has also withdrawn licenses of some fuel service stations caught engaging in irregular trade practices. Cabinet once again wishes to reaffirm its commitment to bringing normalcy to the situation as soon as possible. The dialogue between government and leaders of industry and commerce, which was hosted by His Excellency the President at State House yesterday, set the right tone for an inclusive approach in resolving national challenges. As a way forward, Cabinet resolved as follows. 1, the need for continuous dialogue between the government and the private sector in order to create a common partnership in addressing national economic challenges. 2, the need to vigorously enforce the regulations which outlaw the three-tier pricing system and sanction those found on the wrong side of the law. And 3, the need to engage seed and fertilizer suppliers in order to guarantee the affordability of agricultural inputs, especially seeds and fertilizers. For that assistance be targeted at small and medium enterprises involved in manufacturing in order to boost production and availability of basic commodities. 5, that work on the local content policy be urgently finalized in order to promote the utilization of local resources by industries and in the process reduce the demand on foreign currency as well as increase employment creation. 6, the need to have an industrial fund, in particular the foreign currency component for retooling of the local industry was also considered. 7, to urgently pursue government-to-government agreements for the provision of medicines in order to alleviate the current shortages. Such arrangements should enable NatFarm to procure medicines on credit. The visit by the Honorable Vice President of India, who is expected to arrive in Zimbabwe during the course of this week, should provide some significant headway in this regard. Cabinet also looked at the dualization of the Harare-Masvingo Bay Bridge Highway. After receiving a briefing by the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development on progress in the rehabilitation and dualization of the Harare-Masvingo Bay Bridge Highway, following the decision by government to use the resources from the road fund, it was agreed, the decision which was taken was we need to commence, the work has to commence on the rehabilitation and dualization of the highway as soon as possible, using resources, using local resources. This major highway, which joins the North-South Development Corridor in the sub-region, is long overdue to be done. we know we've been losing a lot of lives traveling on those roads. In terms of this arrangement, the highway will be upgraded in 2 phases. Phase 1 entails the rehabilitation and widening of the existing roads. This will bring the road to the same standard as N1 on the South African side and the Chirundu-Lusaka road on the Zambian side. This phase will be completed in 3 years. The phase 2 will entail the dualization of the rest of the sections of the road. This envisaged implementation model will entail utilization of local contractors, local materials, and of course our labor, which has the advantage also of increasing local employment generation and stimulating greater demand for the overall economy. Cabinet also brought a progress report on the modernization of the Beitbridge border post. The Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Matiza, briefed Cabinet on progress on the modernization of the country's premier port of entry, the Beitbridge border post. The project is valued at $231.2 million and will entail the upgrading of the border post with new terminal buildings, commercial facilities, construction of a fire station, upgrading of sewer and water reticulation for Beitbridge town, including a raw water pipeline and reservoir, plant and animal quarantine facility, and the construction of staff housing for border agencies. And then we went to talk about there was a report on the Memorandum of Understanding on the harmonization of the seed regulatory framework in the Southern African Development Community, SADC. Cabinet considered and approved the Memorandum of Understanding on the harmonization of the seed regulatory framework in the Southern African Development Community from the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Climate and Rural Resettlement. The objective of the harmonized seed regulatory system is to address regional seed insecurity through integrating smaller and national seed markets into one large Southern African Development Community seed market. The benefits that will accrue to Zimbabwe as a result of acceding to the MOU would be as follows. We will have increased access to the regional seed markets for our local companies, increased seed production, increased competition resulting in improved varieties and service delivery, improved national seed and food security through increased production, and increased foreign currency earnings through export of seed. The country would also contribute to the building of regional seed and food security, thereby alleviating hunger and poverty. Cabinet also had a report on the bilateral air service agreement between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Mozambique. Cabinet approved the bilateral air service agreement between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Mozambique. The main objective of the agreement is to provide a governing framework for the operation of air transport services between the two countries. The agreement thus facilitates the provision of air services and promotion of travel and trade between the two sister republics, which already enjoy close economic, political, and social ties. And last but not least, Cabinet also approved the principles of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill as presented by the Minister of Finance and Economic Development in order to achieve alignment with the Constitution. In essence, the bill seeks to A, align the Public Finance Management Act to the supreme law of the land. B, to enhance the public resources management framework in line with global best practices. C, to incorporate provisions that facilitates allocation of revenues to provincial and local tiers of government. This is in line with the devolution. And D, to provide for the separation of estimates of revenue and expenditure for specific institutions. And E, to embrace the principle of mainstreaming gender-responsive approaches to finance management matters and elimination of discrimination against women. As a continuation of yesterday's interaction with the private sector, after Cabinet, the President held a follow-up meeting with seed producers and fertilizer producers. As you are aware, there is an outcry there of the prices. At this meeting, the President was formally informed of the positive developments regarding the prices, which are now being continuously reviewed downwards, so that at least our people can go back to the fields. I want to thank you.